Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website is teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv. I'm working on my Triumph. It's a great day in Chicago, but let's go back in the past. Back in June of 1998, AHRMA, American Historic Racing Motorcycles Association, held a triple national at Grattan Raceway. They had a motocross on one side, they had a road race on their famous road race course, and they also had a trials event. So in the next 10, 12, probably 20 minutes, it's hard to cut these down. I'm going to show you all the action that took place June of 1998 at wonderful Grattan Raceway with AHRMA, and I also interviewed Mick Andrews, world famous trials rider, and he's also racing motocross with us. So in the next 20, 22 minutes or so, I'm going to show you all the action from 1998. And don't forget my website, teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv.
The first race we're going to look at is the plus 40 intermediate.
He's jumping out front. It looks like Andy Blackburn from Rome, Georgia, second place. Is Andrew Hardin from Kentucky, as I'm out there on Bill Cavellis's 250 Honda because my Yamaha is seized up, and I'm out there riding his plus 40 intermediate. Plus 40 is the age group. Intermediate means that I have some race experience. We swing the camera on the other side. That battle up front between Andy Blackburn and Andrew Hardin. Some of these guys are really going fast. I make it through. Get on the pegs, stay on the inside, try to get this sand berm. I'll tell you, this bike, Bill Cavellis, got some proper shock absorbers, had the engine done. It was big fun to ride. So watch these bikes come flashing by. Up front, it's Andy Blackburn. Second place is Andrew Harding. Third place is Mark Nelson. Fourth place is George Nains. Fifth place is Sam Molds. These guys are really getting around here quickly. But one of these days I'm going to be riding this fast. If I keep at it and stay with it, I'm going to learn how to run this motocross stuff. 919 is Tom Antor as I come by on Bill Cavellis's 250 Honda, and I'm having big fun out here at Grattan Raceway. And now we're looking at plus 30 intermediate. Two-wave start out here as we see him going through this real deep corner. This corner is really falling apart, and we swing back over in that plus 30 intermediate class up front. It's like Joe Rydell, but right on him is that Fritz Kling. In the meantime, Bill Cavellis is Bill running in third. Bill Cavellis out of Chicago on that Honda. He's dropped back to fourth, and George Mack is on that 360 Yamaha MX. It looks like he needs some suspension as we swing over. Still up front in the intermediate class is Joe Rydell from Seneca, PA on that CZ. But on that Mako right behind him looks like Fritz Kling as we see this battle shaping up for third place. Watch Bill Cavellis from Chicago on that Honda. And this is a bike he picked up at a swap meet for $300, but he's probably put another $800 into it. He had the motor done, got a new pipe, but he's having big fun out on this natural terrain motocross. As we swing over and see George Mack going through the dust on that 360 Yamaha. And here's a bike he paid $300 at a swap meet. But the battle up front in his plus 30 intermediate. Moving on the outside, going into the lead is Fritz Kling. Fritz Kling from Lansing, Michigan on that Mako. And look at this boy go. In the meantime, battle for third place. Bill Cavellis is developing with Mark Plummel. You see these guys battling for third place. George Mack's coming by on that 360 Yamaha. He's looks like he's having some fun out there as we swing over 51 is leading. It's Norm Carroll in that plus 30 novice class. Check that, plus 50 novice class. Second place looks like Fred Kling from Lansing, Michigan. We've got two Klings in this. In the meantime, in the plus 30 intermediate is Fritz Kling. And here's a guy, he's won many races out here at Grattan Raceway. But I think this is the first time he's ever won a race on the dirt. And he's having big fun. In the meantime, second place is at Joe Reindell as he watches battle for third between Bill Cavellis. The 69 is Mark Plumley from Ohio on that Suzuki TM. You got a Honda against a Suzuki. Also in there is Daniel Payne from Toledo on a Mako. Fritz Kling really starting to stretch the lead in plus 30 intermediate. Second place is Joe Reindell. Third place is Daniel Payne. Bill Cavellis is in fourth place. Mark Plumley is in fifth place. In plus 30 novice class, winning was Robert Heindel from Michigan. In the plus 50 novice class, going on to pick up the win was Norm Carroll. Next race we're going to look at is plus 50 experts, plus 60 experts. Number 3D. 3D is Mick Andrews, all the way from England, coming out here to have some big fun. Right behind him is Phil Hansford from Big Rapids, Michigan, and at CCM. This is a plus 50, that's the age. Plus 60 experts, Classic 500 experts are out there. As we swing across on this twin-cylinder Triumph, look at this guy go. Mick Andrews, who's been well-known worldwide as a trials rider, trials world champion. But look at him get around on this natural terrain motocross track at Grattan Raceway. Listen to that twin-cylinder sing as he goes on the uphill. As we swing back, battling first place in plus 60 experts, it's Jeff Schmitt from Wausau, the director, Classic 500. First place is Steve Tucker, 48. That's Dennis Brown from Ohio. He's running fourth in Classic 500 intermediates. But look at this Mick Andrews flying on his twin-cylinder Triumph. Matisse chassis. Triumph engine. Boy, that's how they used to ride motocross. Right behind him is Phil Hansford. Third place is Wade Sumners. Classic 500's up front. That's Steve Tucker. Classic 500 intermediate up front is Paul Havers. And Premier Open Twins is Bino Rodi. As we get to see Mick Andrews as we watch Jeff Schmitt, who's leading in the plus 60 expert class. Jeff Schmitt, former world champion himself, 2 times in BSA Factory, and he came over and worked for Can-Am in Canada. And he's the director of AHRMA. Look at this guy go. Is this guy fast or what? Well, I hope I can be that fast when I'm plus 60. Classic 500 experts up front is Steve Tucker. As you watch Mick Andrews come scooting down his downhill on his twin-cylinder Triumph Rickman Matisse chassis. Second place, 24. It's Phil Hansford. Third place, Wade Summers. Fourth place went to Gene Ramsey. Jeff Schmitt won plus 60 Classic 500 expert. Steve Tucker.
And I had a chance to talk to 5-time Scottish 6-day trial champion, Mick Andrews. Let's go to that right now.
He's here with Mick Andrews, and if you've been around motorcycling for any amount of time, OSA used to make a trials bike called the Mick Andrews Replica. So you won the World Championship with OSA. What other brands have you won World Championships?
No, I haven't. I won the World title twice on the OSA.
Right.
And we call it OSA, you call it OSA.
Okay,
But,
okay.
And then after that I went to design the new Yamaha.
Right,
At the
okay.
time, the TY.
So you were involved with the TY development. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And the best I got on that was second place.
Mm-hmm.
But with that one, I was the first Japanese bike to win the Scottish 6-day trial.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And still, maybe I'm still the only Japanese bike to win the 6-day.
Okay, now, we got some footage of you playing around over here, and how much trials riding you still do?
At the moment, the last 4 years, I've been riding classic motocross and just having a few trials every now and again. But I think I do 25 classic motos a year and maybe about 15 trials.
Okay, so did you use the motocross too in the past, before or after you were in the trials?
I motocrossed while I was trialing. I started off trialing in the early 60s, and when I rode for AJS in that particular year, those years, they gave me a motocross machine plus an enduro machine.
Right.
So then I've been motocrossing, enduroing, and trial riding all the time.
Right, okay. So what do you think of this vintage racing? I mean, is it big over in Europe? Is it big over in England?
Oh, in England and Europe, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's real big. It's possible. It's getting close, or if not bigger than the modern sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very, very big. The motocross side, we get regular 400 entries. The trial side, anywhere between 100 and 250 riders.
Okay, so what do you think of this motocross track out here at Grattan?
Oh, yeah, we've had a great time with the motocross on the Saturday and the trial today is magic.
Okay.
When I got here and looked at that, I thought this is okay.
Yeah, this is perfect.
And, looking forward to next year now.
Right. So you will be back?
Oh yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the trials and everything.
Okay. Well, it's great talking to you because you were a world champion, and like I said, I owned one of Moses. I sort of kicked myself for selling it, but I do own a TY Yamaha.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mick. And now we're going to start off Sunday morning with the trials event right here at Grattan Raceway.
This is section number 2. This is what Bino Rody and that matchless. Bino's riding the novice class. In fact, Bino went on to win Premier Heavyweight Novice class. Bino's another rider that rides the motocross, trials, and does the road racing. He's got a stable of vintage motorcycles. Now on an OSA, it's still section 2. I'll tell you, this was a great rider. This guy rode great. He's running in the modern classic novice class. I think this is Dave Gustafson on that OSA. And he rode a beautiful line there, cleaned that section. And he had his family cheering him on. Now we're looking at section 1, this part of the motocross track, the sandy uphill. It got a little tricky with all this torn up sand where we raced motocross the day before. It was just back and forth, but it gave me fits. This rider has 2 dabs. Now I got this BSA rider riding in section 3. And he's a Premier Heavyweight Intermediate, and that's Ron Wiggett. On that BSA, as we watch him go through this section. In fact, Ron went on to win Premier Heavyweight Intermediate class. See this nice strong ride out of him. Whew. Good show. Now modern classic experts, we're looking at Scott Beatty from Michigan on the Yamaha. Oop, 1 dab. But they really make the experts. 2 dabs. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Nah. The new scoring As long as you keep the biker rolling, you lose 3 points. If you stop in the section, that is a 5. If you don't attempt the section, that's a disqualification. John Collison went on to pick up the win. Scott Beatty was second in Modern Classic Experts, and Grant Foster finished third on the Montesa. As we swing over another expert rider in section 4. He's got a couple dabs there. Modern Classic Intermediate, it was Ken F. on a Yamaha that went on to pick up the win. Dwayne Connolly was second on the Bull Taco, and James Smith on the Honda finished third. So we swing over to the sand pit. Rigid novice, Rick Forslick went on to pick up the win. Premier lightweight experts, it was John Capistran on a Ducati that won. Jeff Smith, the director of AHRMA, was second in Premier lightweight expert. Premier lightweight intermediate was Dennis Brown on the Greaves, and Dale Schmoltz was second. Premier lightweight novice was Doug Shepard on the Greaves. As we watch his BSA rider through section 2. In Premier Heavyweight Novice, third place went to Bob Goodpasture. He rode his Rickman BSA. Classic Experts with Bob Grinder. And second place, in Classic Intermediate, was Dennis Jones. Let's watch this expert rider in the sand pit. Section 5 and 6 combined. You got time to shift. Make this uphill climb. Look at this riding. Now you know why these guys are experts. They run that number 1 line. Whoop, one dab. But that one dab could have been a save.
All the sections were just great right here at Grattan Raceway. Now we're going to swing onto the road course, 250 GP, Formula 125, and Class C.
Up front, that looks like Jonathan White on that 66 Ducati 250. As he goes through turn 1, catching him again. Coming into turn 2. At 27 is Bino Rodi, and at 1950 Royal Enfield. He's running Class C foot shift as we watch Jonathan White on that 66 Ducati up front in 250 GP. John Richardson on a 65 Ducati's running second. Third place, number 89, that's Charles Sexton on that 67 Boltaco 250. He's running in third place. Corey Rusk is fourth. John Stevens is fifth. Rory Poons is sixth. 909's Pat Reltz running eighth on that Honda. Right behind him, 63 is Richard Bonelli on a 68 Yamaha. 383 is Formula 125. That's Bruce Clark on that 77 Honda 125. As you watch Charleston Palmer to second on that 1950 Vincent, and he's leading in Class C foot shift. Norbert Nichols is running second on that BMW. Third place, we're looking at Art Barta on that 51 Indian 500. He's running third class. Lonnie Hammond's running fourth in the foot shift Class C race. As you watch Al Knapp, he's leading Class C hand shift. He's on that 1940 Harley Davidson 750. Watch him reach down and shift up as he heads to the Grattan hump.
The next race we're going to look at is 350 GP and Formula 250.
It's Johnny Demorzi on the Triumph. Battling with Jonathan White, Charles Sexton. In Formula 250, as we swing back, Chip Larkby on the 202 Racing, Chicago Psycho, DT3 250 Yamahas up front. Right behind them is Richard Merard from Ohio, and he's on a 72 Yamaha 250. And these two are battling as we watch Joe Lockney on that 1966 DT1, one of the only running and racing DT1 Yamahas in the country, and he's running in that 350 GP class as he heads down this front straightaway. Swing over Richard Merer on that 202 Racing. AccuMix is leading Chip Larkby, and I'll tell you, it's the master showing the grasshopper the fast way around Grattan Raceway as Chip Larkby tries to catch Richard Merer. Chip Larkby on that Irving Sheridan Shell Chicago Psycho 202 Racing 72 DT3 is trying to catch the master, Richard Merer, the guy that does the engines for Chip. But Richard on that 202 AccuMix DT3 250 is showing Chip the fast way around this racetrack as we swing the camera and see Craig Brecken running in 10th place in 350 GP. Next race we're going to look at is race Formula 500, and I'm out there on Chip Larkby's TD3 250 Yamaha as we head over to Grattan Hump. Right in front of me on his 500 four-cylinder Honda is Albert Owens. In the meantime, Christopher Sprago on a 400 Yamaha. He's gone. He's leading. He's up front. Bob Newby's in second place as I try to get around his four-cylinder Honda. I'm on a 250 Yamaha two-stroke as we head down to the hairpin. I try this outside line. See if I can get around them. 4 downshifts. Stay tight. See if I can get them on the uphill. In the meantime, up front in 500 Premier, Larry Poons on the at Sealy Condor is winning. Jeff Eagling on the Matchless is running second. John Cooper on the BSA is running third as we head down this front straightaway. And staying on the gas. And this four-cylinder Honda is really making some good horsepower down the straightaway. We're battling for third place. Christopher Sprago's gone on the Yamaha. Second place, Bob Newby on the 350 Yamaha. As we come through turn 2, and that leads us to the off-camber. Downhill, turn 3. I tighten it up. Now we swing over turn 4, the sweeping right-hander that heads over to the Grattan Hump. Stay on the gas. Over the hump. Downshift, upshift. I'll tell you, you got to really shift these two strokes to keep it in the power range. Now we're headed into the bowl as Larry Poons goes on to win 500 Premier. Jeff Eagling is second. John Cooper on the BSA third. That's in 500 Premier class. Christopher Sprago is up front in Formula 500. Bob Newby second as we battle for this third place. Coming through the ball. And this uphill, boy, this Honda's really got some good horsepower. As I get on the gas, make the good drive, because this is key. Make it a good drive out of this last corner. I tuck up, get right in the draft, stay in the draft for a few seconds, and split out and get by this four-cylinder 500 Honda of Albert Owens, and I go on to take third place in Formula 500 out here at Grattan Raceway at this AHRMA Vintage National.
Music for the show provided by Engine, Mike Preetz, Intrigue, and Travesty. And all this music recorded at Fireside Studios Westchester, Illinois. For more information on Grattan Raceway, their website is GrattanRacewayPark.com. For AHRMA, American Historic Racing Motorcycle Association, is AHRMA.org. To get in touch with me, email me at teamdan45@gmail.com. Look for other clips on YouTube. Motorcycle racing, search with Dan Schmitt, motorcycle racing, for great motorcycle racing action.